welcome to Very Terrible. Today we're in a card called the Meddler, featuring the new Orbeetle from Lost Origin with a jamming attachment ability. Learn to attach up to 3 energy cards from your opponent's discard pile to their Pokemon in any way you like, as you evolve this Pokemon from your hand. We're doing a control build with this card with our Galarian Weezing from Rebel Clash, using its Neutralizing Gas ability to lock all of our opponent's Pokemon's abilities if this Pokemon is in the active spot. We're also playing 1 Miltank to wall against Pokemon V, 1 Starmie V for its amazing Energy Spiral attack, doing 50x damage for each energy attached to all of our opponent's Pokemon. This attack works really well with our Orbeetle's ability, helping us do big damage while attaching our opponent's discarded energy to the wrong Pokemon, blocking them from retrieving their energies with Training Card and Clara, or reattaching to their Pokemons with Melanie, Fluffy, Raihan, and Magma Basin. We can also use Orbeetle's Mysterious Wave attack, doing 30 base damage, plus 50 more for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon for only 2 colorless. For the extra control, we also have 2 Crushing Hammers, 2 Galar Mine, 1 Misfortune Sisters, and 2 Boss's Orders. To block damage counters from attacks, we're playing 1 Big Parasol. For the bench barrier, we have 1 Manaphy. For the draw support, we're playing 2 Bibarel, 1 Radiant Venusaur, 2 Marnie, and 1 Irida. To summon our basic Pokemons, we have 3 Paper Pass, 4 Level Ball, 2 Quick Ball, and 1 𝐶𝑬𝑙𝑙𝑒𝑛𝑒 Heavy Ball. For the evolution, we're playing 3 Incense and 2 Ultra Balls. To make the deck more consistent, we also have 1 On-Air Rod, 1 Pole Pad, 1 Energy Surge, 1 Switch, and 2 Scoop Up Nets. To help us do a surprise Energy Spiral with Starmie, we're playing 1 Thorton to swap it with any basic Pokemon we have in play. That means we should be thinking about charging up our Radiant Venusaur or even our Manaphy with Water Energies, preparing for a surprise transformation later on in the game. Finally, for the energies, we're playing 2 Aurora, 1 Twin, 2 basic Darkness, and 2 basic Water Energy. We also have an alternate list that plays the new Galarian Stunfisk from Lost Origin instead of Starmie, with a unique Field Trap attack, discarding 2 energy from opponent's active Pokemon if they have any Stadium cards in play, while also discarding the Stadium. This build is focusing more on control, playing 𝐶𝑦𝑙𝑙𝑒𝑛𝑒 and 𝑇𝑒𝑎𝑚 to recycle our resources instead of Thorton and Irida. We also have 1 less Rare Candy for Raihan, and 1 extra Aurora Energy without the Twin. So that's all for the deck list. Now let's go for some gameplay! Okay, let's go for our first game versus 𝐺𝑎𝑎𝑚 V Star. So we are locking their abilities with our Weezing. That means they can't actually use Comfy to draw, and they can't attack with Cramorant that easily. If we have Weezing in the active fast, all we need to do is ascend on our first turn going second. If they go first though, they can use it for the first turn, but I don't think they can attack that easily. If we have Coughing in the active spot, they can quite easily attack with Cramorant to knock it out on the first turn, so I'm quite scared right now, to be honest. If they have enough Comfies, they can do it because they actually played 𝑊𝑒𝑙𝑙'𝑠 already. They need to get a VIP pass for the Cramorant though, because they actually did it already. They lost it 4 cards, and now they just need an Air Balloon and a Cramorant. They actually did a 3rd time, flower selecting a 3rd time, and did not get the Cramorant. Okay, so Escape Rope means we actually get to save our Coughing to the bench. But now we are playing the Galar Mine, which I don't think is a smart move, but we are trying to draw more cards from the deck. So the more cards you draw, the better, sometimes the better chance you get at winning with this deck, just because we are trying to control our opponent, lock our opponent from using their abilities, from using the item cards by discarding them with Misfortune Sister. So if we get a lot more of our control cards, we can do a lot more, but we only have 3 switch cards, so it's important to note that don't play a Galar Mine until you can afford to, because sometimes we can't switch, right? We only have 2 Scuba Net and 1 switch card, no Bird Keeper in this deck, so sometimes that Galar Mine can actually screw you over. Make sure you're aware of that. So for this game, we actually have Galarian Stunfisk. I don't quite like this. I prefer the one with the Starmie, just because that it actually helps you win. It gives you the option of winning by drawing your prize cards. So this one is a bit more tight, because you actually are forced to win by either attacking with nothing but Orbeetle and Severe Poison, or even your Miltank, which isn't really doing much damage, and Orbeetle is only doing extra damage. It's only doing 50 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. Whereas with Starmie, it's doing 50 more damage, 50x for each energy attached to all of your opponent's Pokemon. That means you get to spread their energies, you get to play your jamming attachment to basically attach those energy from their discard pile onto cards like Manaphy that cannot attack, they're not meant to attack, Bibarel, Manaphy, Chinchino, Flaffy, you can attach those energy onto those Pokemons and then basically watch them struggle to discard those energies back, just to retrieve them, or just to reattach with their Flaffy, or basically try to discard all over again so that they can play their Magma Basin, cards like Melanie or Dynamotor. If they have no energy in the discard pile, then they can't actually reattach with their Raihan. So we are using our Severe Poison for the knockout as well. That means Raihan doesn't work. Cynthia Bruno doesn't work as well. I think Cynthia may... No, I don't think so. So Cynthia Bruno doesn't work because we are knocking them out during Pokemon Checkup. That means those cards doesn't work as well. You still get the base effect, obviously, but you don't get the bonus draw. Okay, here comes Ultra Ball for maybe the Cramorant. They may not be aware that Weezing is locking Cramorant from using the attack, because Cramorant needs the ability, otherwise it needs 3 energies just to attack. And Sableye is not able to place damage counters because we have our Big Parasol, but please be aware that your opponent can easily play Lost Sweep to basically deal with the Parasol. So Parasol is not really a good fix against a Sableye. It's just like forcing your opponent to play the Lost Sweep, right? If they don't get it in their hand at the right time, they may not be able to deal with your Big Parasol. And they can't play Requiem for your Weezing. Okay, we're just gonna put the Bidoof, because they're gonna quite easily just knock us out with the Cramorant. They got the escape rope, that means they can now use their ability to attack. 110 damage, nothing can survive except for maybe the Bibarel on the bench, but we don't want to be putting that in the active because we have no nets or switch in our hand. So I think we might as well just, might as well just sacrifice our Bidoof. We got our 𝑇𝑒𝑎𝑚. Okay, we just got a heads with our Crushing Hammer. We're gonna discard the Grass Energy because they probably have a lot more Psychic with, playing a Sableye. They probably are playing a lot more Psychic energies in their deck. So we're gonna poison the Cramorant right now and then draw some cards with our... Okay, we did a boss. Interesting. We did a boss because we know, well, they actually need 2 more energies to attack with the Giratina, so I don't think that's too smart though, because now they can quite easily just play a Mirage Gate to knock us out, and if Weezing dies, then they can quite easily do Comfy more times, setting up for Sableye, and that's our only Parasol. So if Weezing dies, they can quite easily do Lost Mine, if by their next or even probably on the next turn though, right? The turn after the next, they can set up already for Lost Mine and then knock out all the baby Pokemons on the bench, and then we're done. So we need a Rare Candy evolution right now and that extra 1 energy, otherwise we're not killing the Giratina. We don't need a lot though, honestly. Oh, they are losing their energy, so we are... Oh, I forgot, we're not doing enough damage. Do they have any energy in the discard pile though? If they have enough in the discard pile, we can use our ability to basically knock them out. So Mysterious Wave is doing 50x damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. That means if we attach 3 energy onto their active, we're doing 150 plus 30 base, 180 damage. And thanks to the poison, that's actually enough to knock it out, because they have like 12 damage counters passing the turn. That means we just need 160 damage to knock it out. Okay, we chose to attach to the bench, which is a bit weird, because I don't think we're expecting to get the Rare Candy back. They can quite easily do a Requiem to knock out the Orbeetle, the Blipbug. We're just gonna bench the Coughing. Did not get the second Hammer. We got lucky with the first Hammer, so I don't think we would be getting the Hammer anytime soon. We're just gonna pad back our boss and Marnie and do 10 damage. Sometimes 10 damage, you know, is gonna make a big difference depending on how much HP they have, honestly. So we are damaging them 4 damage counter at a time. So eventually we would have 280 is a multiple of 4 though. So I don't think we need the 10 damage, unless if we can do it 4 times before the poison takes effect to knock it out. I don't think we would be able to do that. Like, poison would be enough without the 10 damage, honestly, if they get stuck over and over, right? Because Scoop on Net doesn't work for Giratina. They need either Air Balloon and the Stadium just to retreat, or Escape Rope and switch. I think we're just gonna discard the Venusaur here. So don't forget you have your Stunfisk. That means if they play any Stadium just to remove the Galar Mine, you can play a Stunfisk to discard their energy and the Stadium. So you're discarding 2 energy from their hand, sorry, from their active Pokemon. You're discarding 2 energies from their active, which is a lot because you got your Crushing Hammer in addition to that and Silene. That means you get to basically empty their active from any energies. You get to stop them from attacking on the next turn by removing all energies from their active. And that means they need to waste another gate. They need to waste their resources. And eventually they're going to run out of those cards. Their switches, their Mirage Gate, their Stadiums, they're going to run out of those cards. And Silene is going to help you recover your resources. We got Silene, 𝑇𝑒𝑎𝑚, and Pawpat. You know, the Trinity combo, the Trinity, I don't know what to say, but the perfect Trinity that actually helps you cycle cards into your hand, into the top card of your deck. You know, if you got 2 tails for your first Silene, you can recycle, you can shuffle it back into your deck with your Pawpat, and then you can put it back with your 𝑇𝑒𝑎𝑚 a second time, which actually helps you do it, flip the coins more times to get your Pawpat back, in addition to another extra card. If you need the Pawpat though, I think sometimes it's just better to get other cards. So if you don't get the Pawpat, you may be able to deck yourself out because we are using a lot of our resources. We may be able to deck out if we don't cycle cards too many times from our deck, from our discard pile into the deck. Especially if our opponent is playing like a Duran or, you know, what's it called again? Palossand. I just fought against a Palossand and lost. That's why I eventually decided to put in, you know, extra control cards into my Stunfisk deck, my Stunfisk variation of this format. So this build actually has no Starmie, and we can only win by, you know, by way of control Or we can actually collect all prizes with our Orbeetle, which is a bit more difficult because we have limited attackers. We only have our Weezing and Orbeetle to do damage. Stunfisk is still doing 20 damage though, but the main reason is there is for the energy discard. So we're just gonna discard the Stunfisk apparently. Um, Discarding cards from your hand is okay because we have Rod, 𝑇𝑒𝑎𝑚, and Pulpad to basically shuffle back anything except for your item cards, obviously. We got 𝐶𝑦𝑙𝑎𝑛𝑒 for the item cards, right? Okay. They are not retreating. They are not playing their Star Requiem. I don't know what's happening. Like, why are they not using the V-Star power? Oh, they can't use it. Star Requiem requires 10 cards in your lost zone. So they can't actually use the V-Star power. Isn't that interesting? Because I don't think they have lost enough cards yet. Okay, they may play it this turn. I stand corrected. I don't know. I forgot. Okay, we got a Marnie in our hand. I think we should be okay for the next turn. They got 22 cards left in the deck. I don't know how we're gonna win this game. Either by discarding their energies to death, because we have the Stunfisk still in the game. Even though it's discarded, we can still revive it with our Rod. And then switch. Kill them, discard their energy. So they are playing probably Recyclers and Rod because they have Mirage Gate, so they may be able to recover those energies easily from the discard. So discarding is not really a good thing, honestly. If you're losing the energy, it's better. It's more of a control technique. But playing Bufflin with Orbeetle is super difficult because Bufflin needs 3 energies. How are you going to charge it up for 3 energies just to lose 1 energy? Like, I don't think that's worth it. If you're smart enough, you can make it work, but it's too much work and I don't really want to waste my time. So, like, forget about Bufflin. It's way too difficult. 3 energies, 3 colorless just to lose 1 energy. It's a bit ridiculous, isn't it? Like, way too bad. The cost is too high. You can play like Mirage Gate with your comfy Lost Box engine for, you know, Bufflin to attack fast. But if you play the Lost Box, formation, then you would need a lot of your 𝐶𝑦𝑙𝑙'𝑒𝑠, you would need a lot of your switch cards just to play Flower Selecting fast enough for you to play Mirage Gate. And that means you can't actually fit in enough rare candies into the deck. You can't actually, you know, play a stage 2 in addition to that. I don't think it's that easy to play stage 2 with a Lost Box and another different attacker at that. So it's a bit too much, I would say. So they did not play the Star Requiem. And they're gonna get knocked out doing nothing in the active. Like Weezing, Giratina basically attacked once and then kept on passing the turn with the Galar mine in the active. But I think they played a stadium at some point, right? But could not manage to retreat because they didn't get the energy. I don't know what's happening. I think they got 1 energy. Like, they attached 1 energy. I don't think so, though, because they lost the 2. They got 1 left, so they just need 1 more energy to retreat, right? The minute they played the Lost City, they just need 1 more energy to retreat, but they didn't get it. So that means they are stuck in the active, and we actually played our Galar mine immediately after that. So they're stuck again. Okay, so Comfy has no ability now. And they're back to square 1. I don't think Sableye can use Lost Mine yet. Okay, let's not forget about Mirage Gate. They still have a few copies left. So they can quite easily do a shred with the escape rope. Or even like a switch Scoop on that. My bad. Scoop on that. I honestly don't think Sableye can do it. Because if they can't play Star Requiem, they can't do Lost Mine. How many Lost cards do they have? That's like, I don't know honestly. Okay, they just conceded. So I don't think they could do it. Right? Because they played maybe 2 or 3 Colress's. I want to say 2, but I think they played 3. And they did lost it 4 cards on their first turn though. So I'm not sure honestly. Maybe they didn't get their energy. I don't know what's happening. Because 10 is not a lot, right? You just need to lose 10 cards. Like if you're playing a full-on lost formation, losing 4 cards on your first turn, I mean, it's quite easy. Like Colress is going to do the job for you. You just need 3 more Colress, that's it. Okay, right now we have a 1 price matchup. They are playing a Swim Freely deck with Kingdra and Lumineon. So Battle Styles Kingdra and the new Lumineon with Finneon for the Oceanic Accompaniment ability, helping you attach energy cards freely from your hand onto any one of your stage 1 Pokemon that has the Swim Freely attack. Well, onto any one of your Pokemon that has that attack, but only stage 1 has that. So Swim Freely, I thought when I first read that attack, I thought it only prevents all effects of attacks done to that Pokemon when you flip a heads, but it actually prevents all damage and effects. So if you flip a heads, it's basically an agility, right? It's an agility sort of attack. If you get to Swim Freely, you get to deny your opponent from, you know, attacking, from damaging your fish in the active spot, whatever fish that may be. Okay. So Lumineon is only doing 120 damage, but they can basically collect the knockout if they done enough damage with the 𝐶𝑬𝑙𝑙𝑒𝑠 already. So 𝐶𝑬𝑙𝑎𝑟 is doing Hydro Shot for 20x. For each water energy attached to your 𝐶𝑬𝑙𝑒𝑠, you get to target any one of your opponent's Pokemon as well. If they don't play Manaphy, you get to snipe the bench. If you play Lost City, you get to deal with the Manaphy by knocking it out with the boss. So the main problem is probably to evolve fast, because if you have 𝐶𝑬𝑙𝑎𝑟 in play without Kingdra on your bench, then you can't play Deep Sea King to reattach those energy onto the Kingdra for your Aqua Bullet on the next turn, and you're not doing a lot of damage after your 𝐶𝑬𝑙𝑎𝑟 gets knocked out, because you are forced to play cards like Nessa to retrieve those energies back. If you have Kingdra on the bench fast, then you can do Hydro Shot with your 𝐶𝑬𝑙𝑎𝑟, and then even if they boss your Kingdra on the next turn, you can evolve to do Aqua Bullet once more. So it's the same thing, whether they kill the Kingdra or the 𝐶𝑬𝑙𝑎𝑟, you got, all you need is to evolve fast, honestly. If you have like a stage 1 and a stage 2 in play, that would be perfect every single turn, though you need to keep on doing that. If you don't have a Kingdra every turn on the bench while attacking with a 𝐶𝑬𝑙𝑎𝑟, or if you have like an active Kingdra without anything on the bench, then you can't actually attack on the next turn that easily, unless if you have like a Horsey, you can do Hydro Shot again just to collect the knockout on the bench. If they play like decks, if they don't play Manaphy, or if you have already dealt with the Manaphy with Lost City, I don't think you get to play Lost City though, because you need the training court just in case you discarded way too many, just in case you they are playing Greninja instead of the Radiant Venusaur, so I don't think they can afford to play Lost City. So we got Ascension to lock them from using Finneon's Oceanic Accompaniment. That means they cannot attach energy from their hand freely onto 𝐶𝑬𝑙𝑎𝑟. So now they're basically screwed. Finneon is basically a basic Frostmoth, but it only works if you play your other stage 1. You know, if you have Lumineon, it works as well, obviously. If you have your other Pokemons that have the Swim Freely attack. So Lumineon is not doing a lot of damage. It's only doing 120 damage for 3 water energies, and you want to be using either Dewgong or 𝐶𝑬𝑙𝑎𝑟 in addition to Lumineon, if you want to attack with Lumineon as well, because Lumineon is not gonna help you do enough damage in a single game. 120, there we go, Waterfall. Okay, they're gonna do either Escape Rope or a Boss, just to remove Weezing from the active spot. Otherwise, they can't actually use their ability. I don't think they are gonna do it though. I don't think they got those cards this turn. Okay, canceling Cologne works as well, and they just did Swim Freely. Got a Tails. So we're gonna poison them in the active. We're gonna play 𝑠ilene to get the Crushing Hammers back. I don't think we played the Hammers yet. I'm not too sure. So if we don't play the 𝑠ilene though, we can't empty our hand. We may be forced to play that card. Okay, we are not drawing any cards this turn. Interesting. We chose not to play the 𝑠ilene because if we put cards back at the top of the deck, I don't think we played a Marnie yet, so I don't think we have any supporter cards or anything of use in the discard pile. There's no reason to be playing 𝑠ilene right now. I'm pretty sure we haven't played our Hammers yet. So here comes the Kingdra, and they're attaching one energy at a time, waiting for the knockout condition. So if they retreat, they got Aqua Bullet to kill off our Weezing, and then after that they get to attach freely. They have no Horsey on the bench though, but they have like the Lumineon. It's gonna get knocked out though, so if they bench another Finneon and evolve this one, they can actually attach to the Lumineon. So if you attack with Lumineon, your opponent is quite easily gonna, definitely gonna do a boss on the Kingdra to knock it out on the bench before you get to use Deep Sea King and Aqua Bullet. If they play enough bosses, I don't think Lumineon is gonna do anything. I would prefer playing a full-on 𝐶𝑦𝑙𝑙𝑎𝑟 Kingdra deck and enough evolutions, enough draw supports. I don't think Lumineon is doing enough. Okay, we discarded an extra card with our Aurora energy. So Aurora, we did not draw. We forgot to draw with Bibarel. Rookie mistake. What is happening? We forgot to draw with Bibarel. We got our energy search. So we actually managed to play Galarian Stunfisk for this game. We did our Field Trap to discard 2 energy from the Kingdra, and that's buying us some time, I guess. So this was a proper control game. We actually get to control them until the very end with our Weezing, and also by those small discards. Those tiny discards is doing a lot because they can't actually attach freely onto the stage 2. They can only attach freely with their Finneon onto the stage 1 Pokemons. Onto specific stage 1s, because only Seadra, Lumineon, and Dewgong, which are all stage 1 Pokemons, have the Swim Freely attack. Unless if they choose to print some other new cards with that attack for the next set. I don't think Finneon is gonna be that good of a card to play, honestly, because Kingdra is a stage 2 and you need some way of evolving it fast. If you don't have more than one copy in play, I don't think it's gonna do much. Especially if you plan on attacking with nothing but your Kingdra, right? If you attack with Seadra and then the Kingdra, it can actually do something, but Seadra is not doing a lot of damage. It's only 20x, so you need like a lot of energies. And if you play a stage 2, you can't afford to add that much energy, so it's not really that powerful, I would say. Dewgong is so much better, because Dewgong is doing 40x anyways for a stage 1. And you don't need to play Deep Sea King, because Deep Sea King is not perfect. We all know Kingdra is not perfect. If your opponent plays special condition to knock out your active Pokemon, you cannot actually transfer those energy from your active to your Kingdra. It doesn't work. It's kind of the same as Experience Share. So if your active Pokemon gets knocked out with effects of attacks or special conditions, Deep-Seeking ability does not work. So we're gonna just knock it out with our Mysterious Waves. We discarded the Rare Candy, so we played way too many Rare Candy for this deck. But we have enough cards to discard it from our hand if we don't need it. And if we need it though later on, if we for example have a Blipbug in play and an Orbeetle in our hand and a 𝐶𝑦𝑙𝑒𝑛𝑒, we can quite easily play the 𝐶𝑦𝑙𝑒𝑛𝑒 to get the Rare Candy back, and then Bibarel to draw it from the top deck and do the Rare Candy evolution for us to play Jamming Attachment a second time. So that's the beauty of this deck, is that 𝐶𝑦𝑙𝑒𝑛𝑒 can actually help you recover not just your Rare Candy but also your tool card, your other item cards, your Incense, Big Parasol, Scoop Up Net, anything. 𝐶𝑦𝑙𝑒𝑛𝑒 is really powerful, but it only gets you probably one card at a time, because I don't think it's that easy to flip two heads. If you're even lucky, you may not get, if you're unlucky, you may not get a single heads. So sometimes 𝐶𝑦𝑙𝑒𝑛𝑒 is just terrible. There's just no telling, is there? I hate coin flips. I just hate coin flips. But for a control deck, I don't think you have a choice though. 𝐶𝑦𝑙𝑒𝑛𝑒 is probably the best card to play if you have a control strategy. Because if you play only 2 copies of each control card, you kind of need 𝐶𝑦𝑙𝑒𝑛𝑒 to recover those cards back. 2 Crushing Hammer, 2 Galar Mine. I don't think we have a lot of other control cards, honestly. We have Boss, but we do have Pulpad to shuffle it back, and Teemiel's Cheer as well, to kind of, recycle our supporter and Pokemons. So we got another Stunfisk. We actually are playing 2 copies of Stunfisk for this list, which is a bit weird. They have a Stadium card in play, another Training Court, but discarding it wouldn't make any difference. We should be playing our Weezing right now, because if we discard, they're just gonna reattach with their Finneon and Nessa. Okay, we are gonna retreat and poison them in the active. I don't think they can kill us just yet. Oh my god, we made a mistake. So I forgot that they flip the heads for the Swim Freely, and that we are not doing any damage this turn. I thought we were gonna retreat. Oh my god, we did not retreat. We were trying to kill off the 𝐶𝑦𝑙𝑙𝑒𝑒𝑛𝑒, because 80 damage is actually enough, right? If we could damage it, 80 would be enough. But they actually took the gamble. They actually risked it by flipping the coin, knowing that we could actually collect the knockout if they flip a tails. So here comes Hydro Shot / Aqua Bullet. Oh my goodness, it's an Aqua Bullet, we're dead. So Orbeetle is knocked out. We got no more attackers on the bench. We do have the Rod though, so we should be retreating on the last turn. I don't know why I did not do that, because now they got enough energies to attack with the Kingdra, and we are totally screwed. That was the biggest mistake of my life. I thought I was gonna kill off the 𝐶𝑦𝑙𝑒𝑛𝑒, because if we kill off the 𝐶𝑦𝑙𝑒𝑛𝑒, they got no Horsey on the bench. So I guess that's the reason why I did that. And we're just gonna play Stunfisk again to discard the energy, because Finneon can't actually attach to the Kingdra. So they're probably gonna switch to, well, they have 1 energy retreat, so they're gonna retreat to the Lumineon to do the knockout. We just need to do a boss. So we're trying to waste their energy, waste their resources as much as we can with this deck, because we're trying to deck them out. Trying to waste their switch cards and their energies, force them to do the retreat. So we got a boss in our hand. We're discarding their Stadium and energy. That means they can't retrieve energies that easily anymore. So if they have Training Court, I don't think they would be playing that many Nessa and Rods. I think they still need the Nessa and Rods though, just to retrieve the Pokemons. But maybe not as much copies as you would in a deck without the training card. Okay, here comes another Horsey. There we go, Luminion for the knockout. So they got 4 prize remaining. We also have 4 prize remaining, but we're not gonna draw our prizes. Like, we're not gonna win the game drawing prize cards. So we're probably gonna do a boss on the Bibarel and just like pass the turn until they get their switch card. We got Misfortune Sister to basically discard the switches before we do the boss, but I don't think we got to play this game. Unfortunately, we only have 1 copy in the deck. So if you know your opponent has, if you know your opponent has used, if they have used up all of their switch cards, then make sure you don't poison their active, because if you have a Galar mine and if you do a boss, trapping them in the active, and if they don't get their switch card, if they run out of it, then they can't actually retreat, then they're stuck and you can't actually deck them out. So don't poison them, because if they poison to death, they can put a new active Pokemon and deal with the Weezing. Weezing is not just trapping your opponent's active. Weezing Galar Mine is not just trapping them in the active, but also locking their abilities. That means they can't actually use abilities for to draw the switch cards. They can't use Shady Dealings to search for the switch. They actually have to play Research or Marnie. They have to waste their resources. They have to waste their trainer cards just to draw out the switch. And if they play Birdkeeper, they're drawing 3 more cards from the deck. That means, we're slowly decking them out, in a sense. You never know if they have a Marnie in their hand, though. If they have a Marnie, they can save themselves, or a Bruno at the last minute. So they got Irida. They're probably gonna get a switch card. There we go. They got the Air Balloon. They actually need 2 energies, or a Stadium card for Bibarel to retreat. So Tool Jammer would probably be better, but I just prefer Big Parasol because Sableye is a big thing. Like, Sableye is just annoying. And we are at least forcing them to play the Lost Sweep. So if they don't play a Lost Sweep in their deck, they can't deal with the Big Parasol. They have to play Giratina or some other card. Cramorant cannot attack, right? And Charizard needs 5 energy because we are locking the ability. So if they play a 1 prize Lost Box, they need Mirage Gate. If they don't play Mirage Gate, and if they can't lost cards fast enough, they can't actually play the gate. So Weezing is basically blocking off the Lost Box by denying them from losing their cards with Comfy, denying them from attacking with Cramorant. Weezing is doing a lot. So your opponent needs to play enough Escape Ropes and Boss to counter the ability lock. Okay, we got Crushing Hammer to basically deny them 1 turn from retreating. So now we just need to wait until they deck out. And we actually poisoned them, which is, I would say, a silly move. Don't know why I did that. We should not be doing the poison. So we're gonna try and boss something else right now. We don't have a boss anymore, but we do have the sister. If we get the Misfortune Sister, we may be lucky enough to discard like 1 or 2 cards from the top card. I don't know what to do right now. We should have just not attacked. Like, that was a big mistake. Okay, Bibarel, 𝑐𝑦𝑙𝑎𝑛𝑒. We're gonna play Misfortune Sisters. I think we have it. They may have a few item cards in their deck. Oh, that's Team Yell's share. My bad. I thought that was the sisters. So we got the 𝐶𝑦𝑙𝑒𝑛𝑒. We're gonna put back the boss. And that means we get to target maybe the Lumineon. Well, we would probably fare better bossing the Kingdra. I think we should be bossing the Kingdra. Let's just attach the energy onto Orbeetle. I don't think we have any energies left. I think that's our last remaining energy. So we should be saving it for Stunfisk maybe. So that was the biggest mistake. Another mistake in this game, poisoning their active when it was unnecessary because they have 3 cards left. We could have just wait till they deck out. Okay, Greninja is gonna collect. Well, it's not enough though. 90 damage is not enough to kill for the final 2 prize. It's not enough to kill anything. So they need Moonlight Shuriken twice, which is equivalent to attacking with maybe Seadra twice. So we actually did our jamming attachment to attach all energies onto the Lumineon. That's why they're basically baiting us to knock it out. If we knock out the Lumineon, they get to reattach to the Kingdra, or if they don't have a Kingdra on the bench, they can actually retrieve the energy with, you know, what's it called again? Nessa, and then attach it back onto the Seadra to do Hydro Shot. And Hydro Shot could actually be enough to kill the Stunfisk, and then the Bibarel on the next turn. So all we need to do is not attack. Like, we just need to not attack. Oh, well, we need to boss first, obviously. We're gonna boss the Kingdra or the Lumineon. I think it would be smarter to boss the Kingdra, but I don't think they have enough energies anyway, right? I don't think they have enough energies. Even if they have the Finneon, I don't think they have enough energies inside the discard pile or in their hand or in the deck, because they already have so much in play. 5, 6, 7. So they only have 8 though. So they may be playing maybe 12 energy in the deck. So they just need 3 more for Lumineon to attack. I don't know, honestly. And we just decided to poison them again. Okay, we didn't. Finally, we did not poison them. Okay. So now we just need 2 more turns to win the game. If they don't play a Marnie, we're good. They're gonna swim freely. They need 2 more energy to retreat. No more stadium thanks to Stunfisk. And we even got another Galar mine in our hand. So we played Stunfisk twice to discard their trading cards and the energy. So we're gonna play Team Yell's share to shuffle back our boss 𝐶𝑦𝑙𝑒𝑛𝑒 and the Menifee because they got Greninja. I don't think we need the Menifee, honestly, because they need 2 more turns. We got the Misfortune Sisters a bit too late. Okay, they're either gonna do a Bruno or just pass the turn. If they pass the turn, it's over. It's the end of the game. There we go, they did a Bruno. And now they have 3 cards left in the deck. I think we played Misfortune Sister and realized that they have no energies left. Okay, they're stuck. They're stuck. No stadium, no energies. So Orbeetle actually got to play, it actually got to shine, right? We actually get to play the ability to attach all the energies onto the Lumineon. And that's actually blocking them from attacking with their other Pokemons. We are basically jamming their energies onto a single Pokemon, which is having a useless attack. Only 120, not even enough to kill the Weezing. So now they have a Research and a Boss and a Horsey in the deck. 2 more cards, my bad. So we just need to wait. We just need to wait for them to deck out, and they just conceded because they got no more energies. There we go, we won against a 1 prize Swim Freely deck, which is big. It's big because Swim Freely is so powerful. You get to attach freely from your hand, and you know, Kingdra is doing so much damage. Seadra gets to snipe your bench. They even have Greninja for the double snipe. We got Manaphy though, so we shouldn't really be too worried. One heavy ball to get the Manaphy out if it gets stuck. I was actually, you know, I was thinking about swapping the heavy ball with a Peonia, but I eventually decided against it because if you get like your basic Pokemon in the prize, because we are only playing one copy of Radiant Venusaur and one copy of Manaphy, we can afford to play more than one. Well, we can't play more than one for Radiant Pokemons, obviously. But for those one copy cards, it's actually a lot more difficult to play Peonia because it's a supporter card. If you get it on your first turn, you can't play it. Heavy Ball is a bit more easy. You get to play Irida to summon your Heavy Ball as well. So we are playing Irida for this list. For this game, we have Irida because we are playing our Starmie. So Starmie actually has to do a reverse summon, right? It has to come into play from the back door, from the back exit by using a Thorton. If you don't play Thorton to summon your Starmie, if you bench it, your opponent is probably going to do a boss to kill it off because Starmie only has 190 HP if I'm not mistaken. 190 HP for a V Pokemon is very low, and we are not playing Cape of Toughness for this list. That means they can quite easily just do a boss, knock it out before we have enough energy to attack with it. We're not playing Melanie, we're not playing Raihan for this deck. We only have Thorton just because we want to do a backdoor entrance with our Starmie to do Energy Spiral for a knockout. So Irida is going to help you get your Starmie and maybe a Quick Ball or Ultra Ball in your hand to discard it from your hand. Discarding the Starmie is important because if you don't have it in your discard pile, you cannot play a Thorton. I would prefer to have it discarded because if you bench it and if your opponent do a boss to kill it off, then they are 2 prize ahead. That means you can't actually buy enough time to deck them out. And you are forced to recover your energies from that blow as well, because you are losing your energies in addition to the knockout, in addition to your opponent's prize, which is a terrible, terrible blow. Okay, they're playing Lunatone with Mewtwo V-Star. I was actually wondering why they have a double turbo. They actually have Arceus V-Star in the deck as well. So Arceus V-Star for Trinity Nova to help them charge up the Mewtwo. So they get to play Psy Purge for 90x damage for each Psychic Energy discarded. You get to discard up to 3 energies with 3 Psychic Energy with their Psy Purge. Okay, they actually did a boss, which is terrible because now if we scoop it up, we're gonna lose our energy. So we have a twin for Orbeetle and also for Miltank to attack fast. We have 2 Aurora Energy for either Coughing to evolve with Ascension, Weezing to attack with Severe Poison, or even Starmie to attack with, well, Radiant Venusaur to transform into Starmie and then attack with Energy Spiral. We can also attach our Water Energy onto Manaphy for transformation, but I prefer to transform the Venusaur because eventually when you need the Starmie, it would actually be late enough in the game, and by that time you wouldn't need your Radiant Venusaur anymore. And Radiant Venusaur has a lot more HP, it can tank damage, it can survive a few turns before getting killed. You know, we actually got our switch, which is pretty lucky. We didn't have the energy, so we're just gonna get our Bibarel right now. We have Pulpad and 𝐻𝑒𝑟. Well, we don't have 𝐻𝑒𝑟 for this list. So we are playing 2 different lists for this deck. For our Orbeetle combo, we have an Orbeetle with Weezing and Starmie, which actually features more on Energy Spiral as an alternative winning strategy. We can either win the game by decking them out, by causing them to get stuck over and over, eventually drawing all 6 prizes with our Starmie and also Severe Poison, or we can just deck them out. We can also collect prizes fast with our Energy Spiral without controlling as much as we need. So I prefer this list. The second one actually has Stunfisk and 𝐶𝑦𝑙𝑎𝑛𝑒, 𝐻𝑒𝑟, Pulpad. This one only has Pulpad. It doesn't have 𝐶𝑦𝑙𝑎𝑛𝑒 or Team 𝐻𝑒𝑟. It does have Boss, Galar Mine, and Crushing Hammer, but it just doesn't have a 𝐶𝑦𝑙𝑎𝑛𝑒. I think we have one extra rare candy as well. So I would recommend maybe swapping the energy search for another Aurora energy, because we are not playing that many energies for this list. So even if you play a Rod, you may get your special energies first. If you get your Twin and your Aurora first, you cannot actually play Rod to shuffle back the energy. If you need the Rod to shuffle back your Pokemons, your Weezing, then you cannot actually, recycle your energies anymore. And the only card we have to recycle our energy is the ordinary Rod. We don't have 𝐶𝑦𝑙𝑎𝑛𝑒 for this deck, remember? So that means if we run out of our energies, we're done for. So that's why I say maybe it's better to just get another energy in the game by playing a third copy of Aurora energy instead of that energy search. But if they play Temple of Sinnoh though, Aurora energy is going to get shut down. That means you can't attack with Starmie that easily. You can't ascend with your Coughing Weezing. So Temple of Sinnoh has its weakness though. We have our Stadium card to remove it. So it's not perfect. It can be easily dealt with if we get our Stadium cards early. Okay, here comes a Mewtwo. I think we actually evolved it this turn. We evolved the Orbeetle, which is a bit annoying. We should have just waited a bit longer. So I don't think we should be attaching the Psychic Energy, because they're probably gonna, even if we attach it to the Soul Rock, they're probably gonna do the Psy Purge, right? They're gonna do the Psy Purge, so I don't think we should be attaching the Psychic Energy. We miscalculated. We thought attaching to the Soul Rock would actually help us, but they are playing Psy Purge. That means they get to discard from any of their Pokemons in play for the extra damage. So Mewtwo still gets to use the effect of his attack. It still get the damage boost. So we're gonna double turbo on the Mewtwo, and then play Irida to get our Starmie discarded, preparing for the Thorton on the next turn. Well, later on in the game, not on the next turn, but you get what I mean. We should have gotten a Ultra Ball because we actually got a VIP in our hand as well. Oh well. I think we got the Aurora energy. There we go. We got the Aurora, so it's like the same thing. Kind of better, I would say. So we're discarding the Psychic from the Mewtwo, delaying them by another extra turn, because now they need either the Energy Switch and the Escape Rope, because they can't actually attach to the Lunatone with Sun Energy, because they can't use their abilities. So Soul Rock cannot use its ability. They got no energies on Lunatone, no energies on Mewtwo. They cannot attack. No Psychic Energy. We got our second Orbeetle, and an Energy Search to get the water for the Thorton. We just need to wait for the Thorton. So if they kill the Weezing, we are already prepared. If they do a Marnie though, like anything can happen honestly for this game. You can get Marnie at any point, any moment. You can just get destroyed by a Roxanne even. Obviously Roxanne only works if you have 3 or less prize remaining, but there's just way too many variables in this game. You never know what's gonna happen. So we're just gonna do Pulpad to shuffle back the Marnie and the boss. Draw another extra card. We should have played maybe the Energy Search first. I don't know. Okay, here's where we made the mistake, I guess. I don't know if it's a mistake. I don't really want to say it's a mistake because we should be attaching the water anyways to prepare for the Starmie transformation. But we could have done a darkness energy attachment on the Orbeetle. If we attach the darkness energy on the Orbeetle, then we can do Mysterious Wave instead. We can attack with 2 Orbeetles at the same time. Well, twice in a row, and then knock out the Mewtwo with Orbeetle, and then after that, by that time we would be able to get the final energy out, or another Aurora, for our Venusaur to transform with Thorton, to do Energy Spiral for a second knockout. If they play Lunatone though, I don't think we need Starmie anymore. So Lunatone is gonna be their saving grace, I suppose. But they need enough energies on the Lunatone and enough Solrocks in play. I don't think they have enough Solrocks, honestly. Because they are playing Arceus as well. Okay, another research. There we go. They have the Arceus discarded, as you see. They actually bench another one later on. So 19 cards left in the deck. We have 16, so it's not looking too good for us either. It's way more easier to collect prizes for the win if you are doing a Starmie deck, but think about delaying your opponent's game, right? If you can delay until you get your knockout condition, it would be much better, especially if you can do severe poison while waiting. Right, if you can collect a few prizes with your Weezing for early knockouts, obviously do that. And then after that, play your Orbeetle and then your Starmie to collect the final few prizes. Got one rod as well to maybe recycle, to do another Orbeetle to attack with the 3rd copy. Because we have enough rare candies for another evolution. So Scoop-Up Net was initially intended for Orbeetle to, we should have scooped up the Orbeetle, honestly. I didn't realize how important it was. It was initially intended for Orbeetle, but if we have energies attached to it, we cannot actually scoop it up. So sometimes we have to prepare for it to attack. Sometimes it's better just to leave it blank, just because you may be able to recycle its ability. If you have 2 in play, you can actually charge up 1 and leave the other blank. So I think that would be the ideal case, but at any point your opponent can quite easily do a boss to kill off the one with the energies. So not playing a Raihan could actually mean a bigger risk. A bigger risk at not, getting stuck, not being able to attack on your next turn. But we do have that 1 twin energy. Okay, they actually put the Lunatone as the active. They got the Mewtwo ready to go. So they just need like a stadium card. I'm pretty sure they're playing Pokestop. So they just need a stadium card. Oh, they actually have the air balloon, my bad. So they're gonna retreat right now. And then, because the double turbo is basically useless, right? It's only there for Arceus, I suppose. Trinity Charge, early game, gets you 3 energies for Mewtwo. And you can also evolve into the V-Star for you to play the Nova for another 3 energies while doing big damage. So Arceus is quite smart, but I would say if you're doing Arceus, you don't need Lunatone anymore, right? This is basically all over the place. Arceus on its own is powerful enough, I would say, because you got Starbirth, double turbo, choice belt. But it's not doing a knockout though. It's not doing a one-hit knockout. That's the problem with Arceus, I guess. Mewtwo gets to do 270 damage plus 30 more with your choice belt, another 30 with Hawlucha. So Mewtwo can quite easily do a one-hit knockout against any Pokemon. Maybe not Eternatus, because that's the highest HP VMAX. You need 10 more damage, unfortunately. Okay, I think we finally decided on playing the Thorton this turn, because we got Orbeetle. And this is where we realized that scoping up the other Orbeetle would have been a great idea. And we did not do that. We just wasted our Scoponet on the Manaphy. So we're gonna rod back our Weezing. And we didn't manage to we didn't manage to shuffle back the energies, which is a shame, because now we don't have as much energies as we'd like. So now we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 energies in play on our opponent's field. That means Starmie is doing 300 damage, killing off the V-Star with one hit, doing a surprise energy spiral. Look at that. Surprise knockout with Orbeetle and Starmie. Oh, that's delicious. 300 damage, and we are discarding their energies back. If we attach it to the Soul Rock, they can do Side Purge on the next turn, so we should be attaching to the same Pokemon. It's very interesting though. Orbeetle allows you to attach 3 energies, any 3 energy from your opponent's discard pile, including special energy, obviously, to their Pokemon in any way you like. That means you get to attach one to maybe a bench Pokemon, another to the active, and another one to another different Pokemon. So you get to spread the energy, you get to concentrate the energy, you get to do anything you like. But it's only 3 copies, so make sure you use it wisely. Okay. Do they have the V-Star? If they got the V-Star, they got the knockout condition because they got Soul Rock. They just need a V-Star to kill out the Starmie. If they don't have the V-Star though, we got another knockout, because they just gave us the energies in play, right? If they discard their energy, Orbeetle can't do the knockout, and you know we are 2 price behind. So it really depends on, are they able to get the V-Star, and they did not. They actually passed the turn doing, I forgot the first attack, but they did 30 damage with Mewtwo V, and now we got a second knockout with the same Starmie. So now we just need to boss something on the next turn for the final prize to win against a Mewtwo V-Star deck. So they're basically juggling too many cards. They have Arceus with double turbo. They got Lunatone Soul Rock for Mewtwo V-Star. Juggling way too many cards. So if you are playing 2 different ways of getting the energy, 2 different ways of charging up your V-Star, you need to think about making those 2 connect, right? If those 2 doesn't connect, then it won't be a good deck. Like Arceus with double turbo doesn't actually connect with your Lunatone. It connects with Mewtwo, like both individually connects with Mewtwo, but they don't actually connect with each other, right? Lunatone and Arceus doesn't make sense. So it needs to be like a crisscrossing situation. It needs like a deck is only good if it has multiple connections. You cannot just think about a one-way individual connection. It needs to have a lot of like what do you call that? Intersecting connections as well, which is just really difficult to think about. But sometimes if you add in the right cards, you can actually make it work. You know, you never know. Because Starbirth is definitely a very good ability to play. Star Raid is not really that effective, especially if they have Manaphy. So I don't think Mewtwo's V-Star power is actually useful in most matches, since you're doing that much damage anyways, right? If you have a choice belt, you can kill any V-Star. Why would you need Star Raid if you're attacking with Mewtwo already? Soul Rock. I think it's the end for them because we got another Orbeetle. Like, whatever they kill right now, we just need to do a boss. If they play a boss this turn, they can make us stuck. They can cause us to get stuck. There we go, they did a boss. So they actually retreated to the Arceus. Because we have one prize remaining, they can't afford to make any mistakes right now. If they screw up so much as one step, they're done for, because we got one last prize. Okay, they're gonna retreat. There we go. They got the air balloon. That means they just need to discard one energy, and they even got the Soul Rock to reattach. So that's gonna have to be their final attacker. They're gonna have to attack with Lunatone at the last minute because we have one last prize. They cannot afford to sacrifice any more prizes. I thought we would get the double turbo discard. Oh well. We have to play the Marnie. We got 10 cards left, so we're probably gonna get the boss back eventually. Okay, we got the scoop of that. We're just gonna scoop it up and play Energy Spiral. Not quite enough to kill the Arceus, but oh well. I don't think we have a choice. If we don't attack right now, they're just gonna boss again and kill off the Starmie. So might as well just do the Starmie right now while we can. If we don't attack with Starmie, they're probably gonna kill it off. They have 5 prizes remaining, so I don't think it matters if they kill the Starmie on the next turn. We still have a lot of prizes to go. We can still afford to waste a couple more. So we just need to draw back the boss. If we get the boss, we win the game. Because they can quite easily just buy even more turns, buy more time with the Mewtwo. Because the Mewtwo is full HP on the bench. If they somehow get an energy switch with the Mewtwo, they can still attack with it. So Mewtwo is gonna be a nightmare to deal with. We got Miltank though, forcing them to play the Lunatone. And if they attack with Lunatone, passing the turn, we got the final prize with our Orbeetle. Or even with the Miltank, right? Whatever they kill, they're done for. But I don't think we have enough energies, right? I don't think we have any more energies to attack with. Maybe one last Aurora for the second Orbeetle, but not for the Miltank. Yeah, we have one more Aurora. That's it. So not a lot of energies to attack with. I would prefer playing like another Rod or something to deal with the energy problem. But I think swapping the energy search for Aurora is gonna help a lot. Because if you have 3 Aurora, I don't think they would be playing Temple of Sinnoh that early anyways. If they do, we have our stadium cards to remove it from play. So I think Aurora Energy, a 3rd copy would help a lot. And having 8 energy in the deck is not too bad. 7 energy, I think it's a bit too low. Okay. So that's it. It's over. They just killed the Starmie. They did not retreat. They did not attack with the Mewtwo. And now we got the final knockout with our Mysterious Wave, doing 180 damage for a V-Star knockout, collecting the final prize by killing an Arceus. So we won against Mewtwo V-Star with Lunatone. We won against Kingdra. We won against Giratina, and now we're up against I think another one prize, if I'm not mistaken. It's either a Vikavolt deck or a Clefairy deck. I think the next matchup is Clefairy. This one is actually Vikavolt. So Vikavolt locks your hand from playing item. You cannot play item cards on your turn, and that means you know, you're forced to play a supporter instead. You cannot play a Rare Candy, you can't do Crushing Hammer, you can't do Incense, Energy Search. So it's a bit more tricky to win the game if you have a lot of items in your deck, especially with Pokestop, you know. So Vikavolt is actually quite good right now because there are a lot of decks that rely on items, especially your Comfy with, you know, Scuba Net and Air Balloon switches. Mirage Gate, they can't play Mirage Gate, can you imagine? They can't play Mirage Gate. Or even their tool cards. So I think I'm just gonna end the voice right here and leave you guys to focus on the game. Hope you guys enjoyed this new combo. Today we are featuring the new Orbeetle from Lost Origin with a jamming attachment ability, allowing to attach up to 3 energy from your opponent's discard pile to their Pokemon in any way you like as you evolve this card from your hand. We also have our Galarian Weezing, locking them from using their Pokemon's abilities with Neutralizing Gas, and also Miltank helping us wall against Pokemon V's with his amazing Miraculous Body ability. We also have our Radiant Venusaur to draw cards into our hand, Bibarel for the draw support as well, 𝐶𝑦𝑙𝑙𝑒𝑛𝑒, 𝑇𝑒𝑎𝑚 and Pawpad to cycle cards like Crushing Hammer, Galar Mine, Boss's Order, and also Misfortune Sister back into the deck so that we get to play them over and over to basically deck our opponent out. By doing this control strategy with our Galarian Stunfisk, discarding energy and their stadium cards. They have a stadium in play. We get to discard 2 energy from their active Pokemon with our Field Trap using the new Galarian Stunfisk. We also have a second variation that actually plays a Starmie instead of the Stunfisk to help us collect extra knockouts for the win by drawing prizes with our Energy Spiral doing big damage with Orbeetle. So Starmie actually works really well with Orbeetle just because you are doing 50x damage for each energy attached to all of your opponent's Pokemon. With your Energy Spiral for only 2 water energy, you get to play Thorton to do a surprise knockout with your Radiant Venusaur. If you have water energy attached to it early, you can actually swap your Starmie into play late stage in the game to collect big knockouts. So that's all for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you next time. Have a great day and bye for now, lovely people. Enjoy your life.
Hey baby, it's me. I was just calling to chat with you a little bit. I miss you a lot. And I miss hearing your voice.
When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
you.